It's dangerous to go alone. Listen to this. So, I'm Ash.
I'm scared.
Yes, you should be.
Thanks. I'm Card Dreamer, your D-class villain.
I'm your D-class hero. And...
A failure.
No.
I have taken this channel over.
He wishes.
Through complacency and laziness.
He looks at himself in the mirror and feels sad.
Only half the time.
Most of the time.
75% of the time. That's my final offer.
I was going to say 60, so thanks.
Hey, no problem.
But this video is about should they remake The Legend of Zelda.
The original.
Legend of Zelda. And the reason we asked this is because we've been seeing a lot of HD remakes as of the past couple of years. And thought, should they touch the first iterations of these kind of games? What are your thoughts?
It depends on how far they're going to go with it. Do I want to see a complete Wind Waker or Breath of the Wild remake style? No. I would like to see... Do I want to see a remake at all? Actually, yes, I would, of the first one.
So, I played the first one. I love the fact that I could go anywhere. I mean, I had no general direction when I did anything. I ended up completing a lot of dungeons in very strange orders while trying to find loot, items, secret spots, all that stuff. I would love to see a remake of Legend of Zelda. And I would want them to do it in the same style as A Link Between Worlds. I feel like that'd be the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Having not played A Link Between Worlds, I can't fully say... But my understanding is those graphics are slightly just updated graphics from the Link to the Past.
Yep.
Which is what I would like the style to be anyway. So, sure, anyway, I recant and I will agree, yes.
So, fun fact of how they did that for A Link Between Worlds. They took a 3D model of Link and just tilted the camera upward. That way it looks like it's the old classic top-down view you had with A Link to the Past. That's how they did it, and it works out phenomenally. I would like to see that for a classic, for the Legend of Zelda game. In terms of what else to do with it, because, to be fair, Legend of Zelda was very bare bones. There was a lot of secrets and a lot of hidden stuff, but...
I agree, and actually that's my biggest reason why I would want to remake. So let's clear something up right off the bat. Anywhere did Nintendo announce that they were going to do a remake. This is not on the horizon. This was not leaked. This is just fun discussion topic, and that's it.
I mean, they could be working on it. We don't know.
Well, I do. I know everything. But I will never tell unless you pay me $1. I'm cheap.
You can probably bribe them down to 50 cents.
Shh. Gosh, work for it, man.
No. I'm the hero. I'm supposed to let them know when there's something dangerous around.
But you're a D-class hero. Robin?
Look, to be fair, I don't wear the tights, so I'm a little bit above that.
Aquaman?
Nightwing. Thank you.
Please, you will never be... No. Okay, so, now that we got the delusion out of the way.
Says the guy who thinks to take over the channel. Moving on. What would you like to see in the game?
More narrative to the story. I feel like you said, it's bare bones. It literally opens from a black screen to you in the middle of this desert woods with a mountain cave you walk in, and some old man wants you to play with a sword. And all he says is it's dangerous to go alone because he wants to hold your hand. I don't know what to tell you. That is the gist of the story. You were not told what you were fighting for, why you were fighting, who you were fighting. You were told nothing.
Now, to be fair...
It's all in the instruction manual.
There we go. That's my point. I kind of miss that from old GBA games and stuff. I like having the story in that. That's just me personally, but I can see what you're saying.
I like it in there, don't get me wrong. Instruction manuals back in the day were awesome. They had great art in there. They did have the nice aspects of the story and lore and all that. I'm not arguing that, and I would love to see that come back too.
I would too, because you want to know why? I actually have a stack of old game manuals with like just for the artwork, just for the little snippets and tidbits, and some that had like little notes and stuff in it that I just kind of really appreciate as a gamer. It's part of that art for gaming that I personally love. But there should be definitely some kind of clear narrative.
Exactly.
Towns. Do you think it should have towns at all, or should it just be related to the wilds?
It should be.
This is kind of a review more than a discussion.
I feel like you could add. I guess you could add to it. I don't know. It might be.
Well,
how far are you going from changing your gameplay experience? I think it might be better to just add a little more narrative as to why you're on this adventure, why you're in the middle of the desert. Get it to where you start the game, and then more or less keep it the same. Just updated, quote unquote, updated the graphics to A Link Between Worlds.
Let me pose this question then: if they had to add a town or towns, how would you want it implemented? I know what I want to say, but I'm gonna wait for your answer first.
Then you should start off in the town, and it should lead you to where you go. Maybe you're going to find somebody, and you end up lost in the woods or desert woods, whatever, and that's when you come across the old person who tells you, "Beware strangers, take my sword."
And thus, we had the best Legend of Zelda rap ever. Look up that video when you guys get a chance. It's just funny. If you haven't seen it, well, you disappoint me. How would I want it implemented? I would like either a major hub town, much like they had in, A Link to the Past, or very small communities spread out. Not like every town has like a shop or something, but like maybe kind of like how they did in Legend of Zelda 2, where each town had like little bits of information. I can't believe I'm actually saying this from Legend of Zelda 2, but you know what? I'm saying from Legend of Zelda 2.
We'll get to there.
There's another video for that later.
I would rather maybe see one town and ruins of another, since this does take place after A Link to the Past and so forth. This is my understanding is that the
Downfall timeline.
This is second to the last game in any of the timelines, period.
Mm-hmm.
So should be ruins, destruction. It'd be nice to see that more fulfilled.
So more like society collapsing.
Yeah, a revisionist history point of view.
Okay, I get behind that. Adding to that, if that is the case, and this is pretty much the end of days of Hyrule, so to speak, because that's pretty much where we are in the timeline for that game. It's pretty much the end times. Things are coming towards an end because
No, go ahead.
Because Ganon had won, this is the Downfall timeline. This is pretty much the worst possible scenario for that timeline. Or at least one of them. With that being said, I would like to see that one last town being laid siege upon by Ganon's minions. Like, maybe once in a while you come back to town after collecting an item from one of the, temples, dungeons, whatnot, and you have to defend the town from invading enemies. Kind of like a little wave mode thing of sorts. I would like that. I think that would be fun. While still bringing on, like, hey, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. We're going to be using that line a lot. I am not sorry.
It actually might be interesting to kind of tweak the narrative. Because it's basically bare bones where you get the sword, you go, you kill Ganon, you're done.
Basically.
But what if there's more to it? What if the old man isn't just giving you a sword? What if he's one of the last remaining sages over the Master Sword, which, i.e., related to the Hero of Time? What if he senses you're the reincarnation of that failed moment in time? You are being given a chance to recollect the Triforce and put things back right. Maybe you can't go back and fix the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another discussion we will be doing called Crisis on Infinite Hyrules, and here's how we're going to tie it in.
Oh, God. I was dreading this day.
What if this is the way of leading up to and fixing this in conjunction with the next game, since it is a direct continuation of Adventures of Link? What if this is the fixing of everything? What if this is the gaining the power of the sword and allowing you to correct and fix and this fractured timelines.
So I just want to point out there real quick for you, because you don't use the Master Sword in Legend of Zelda 1. You use a silvered sword or a silver arrow.
That's what, hence revisionist history.
Mm-hmm. Is that like fake news?
Sort of.
There we go. Point is, I see what you're saying. What if this was kind of the lead up to a fixing the timelines and join them as one main timeline again?
Think of it as DC Rebirth, but done right for Zelda.
We'll talk about that later. That's a different topic,
Right.
and that's going to be a long one.
It is. I can't wait.
And we're really looking forward to it because they had an opportunity to do so, and they just kind of glazed over it. But back to Legend of Zelda 1, should it be remade? And like I said, I want to see kind of like a siege on like the last town remaining. Like, the dark forces are attacking the citizens, and maybe you get rewarded or you find out more secrets if you save more buildings or more people, or they get carried off by the enemies. You gotta go save them, like a little side quest of sorts that kind of add to like the open world.
I agree. I think it would be
Too much?
No, I think it would be nice to have it. I think on the game there should be accessible a ROM of the original Zelda as is.
Oh, absolutely.
Some people might think we should keep it strictly to a graphical overhaul and keep the game original. I can see that too, and I would certainly back it, but I think it would be nice. It's a nice chance to expand the story without ruining what they've established.
I mean, it's really hard to ruin what they established since there was really not much really added in there aside from...
Hater!
Hey, get the heck out of here. I love the Legend of Zelda series. Fight me. I'll win. I'll knock your tubby butt down that staircase.
You might be Robin, but you're Cassandra.
Moving on, because that's not relevant.
I'm just saying you're the worst Robin of them all.
Yeah, but I got the butt to go in the tights, though.
Oh, I threw up a little. On that note, ladies and gentlemen,
That's when you
have
look in
a
the
good
mirror.
one.
But overall, it's really hard to ruin, at least in my opinion, a story when there's very little story there aside from what's in the manual.
I agree.
And that's the beauty of this. This is why this would be such a good thing in my opinion, because they got almost 100% free range in how they reapply it.
And that's true. That is the biggest thing. But here's the thing. Can they do it and still maintain
The charm.
the charm of at least every time you beat it, the dungeons were everything was moved? That would be a little harder to do if they structure a story.
Not necessarily. Because the way you can make that work is you need just key points along the game's storyline. Fixed points like in Back to the Future. And I say this because there are fixed points in the timeline that cause it to split off. Doing this action causes this, but this is a fixed point in time. At the start of the game, the end of the game, those would be two fixed points regardless. Maybe the town getting invaded by the Dark Forces is another fixed point in the game. Stuff like that. And I'm just using that as an example. It doesn't actually exist, but it's a good example to use. And doing that way, they can still have the dungeons randomly generated and the map randomly generated, and still have a primary storyline that you can go A, B, C, D.
That would be a good alternative instead of having them at random locations. Yeah, randomly generated dungeon. So that way your experience is different every time you play.
Exactly. And it's not impossible.
No, I can back that. I can back that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a freaking genius.
You wish. This is my idea.
But I'm the evil villain. I can steal ideas. That's my job. That's
I
my
have more
MO.
credit.
Villain. MO. Allowed to steal. What part of this aren't you getting?
The part where you actually steal anything. You're bad at it.
Okay, you're an equally bad hero. It balances out.
Therefore, no one has credit then.
Sustained. I win.
No, it doesn't work that way. But
it does.
Point is, that's a good way to actually allow for a story while making the experience fresh each time you play.
I agree. I see no reason to add any more. I mean, I think that's done.
The real question is, like, side quest. You want, like, little mini dungeons, mini adventures for, like, extra items or money. Like, is that really necessary in this kind of game? For this specific game, I should say.
I don't see why not.
Well, that comes back to the whole dungeons randomly generated thing. You see what I'm getting at? Because otherwise they just had to be basic fetch quests, like collect these many items wherever. Done. Or find the hidden hermit who location has changed every time you play a new game.
Or it
could be an in-town thing. At which point they're all on one fixed point, so it doesn't really matter.
And actually, I will have to recant my statement. I don't think random dungeon generation works because half of what makes a Zelda game is the puzzles, and you can't keep consistent puzzle solving with it.
No, you can't.
But
then again, the original puzzles weren't that super complex. What was super complex was finding the hidden secrets.
Well, and I get that, but Zelda has become known for its puzzles, so they have to...
Exactly. So, it really comes down to, do we want a fresh experience each time with different dungeons? Or do we want complex dungeons they can do in any order? Like you can in Breath of the Wild.
Well, I would argue more or less keep it like the first, where there's some degree of order. You can have side ones that, let's say, would unlock... You can add additional dungeons. What if you start off again like whatever wooden sword the old man gives you, and some of the additional quests before you can go on to the 3 or whatever, however many dungeons it was in the original, you have to do a whole new set of dungeons that allow you to get the Master Sword so that you can continue on.
I mean, I guess they could work. I mean, they've done that before, to be honest.
There you go.
I mean, like, look at the Wind Waker, for example. You had to collect every piece of the Triforce throughout the Great Ocean. That was a pain. There was a good point where I played the game the first time. I was like, alright, I'm too lazy to do this. Put the game down for like a month and then went back to it.
Right?
Then I did a second time. I was like, okay, I just speedrun this thing. I beat my record by like 20 hours. And that was mostly because I just messed around in the game. Like, a great thing about the game is the fact that if you're able to just kind of do your own thing, mess around, and just discover neat stuff. Because I feel like that great degree of Zelda's charm is from just, hey, this was neat. I didn't know this was here. I didn't know you could do this and find this treasure.
I have so much more I want to add, but it goes into our other discussion.
Well, I'll save it for the other discussion. He's actually mad about this because he has a lot.
I do. I really got this whole thing working out of my mind now. This hamster's going to die of a stroke. It's going so fast.
He means his brain, and trust me that it's small. It won't last that long regardless. But anyway, any last remarks for this one? Before we move on?
I've got a remark for you. But for the discussion, now I'm good.
Okay. So, guys in the comments below, what are your thoughts, feelings if Nintendo was, keyword was, to make a Zelda 1 remake? Would you be all for a graphical rehaul? Or would you like to do, like them to do what we're speaking of and make like a Link Between Worlds-esque game with fixed points of a story?
Yep.
Like, subscribe, comment below. I'm Ash.
I'm Card Dreamer.
And we'll catch you later.
See you all later.
Stada.